one of the best ways to build your confidence is actually by not really focusing on building it at all. Sometimes when we get into that mindset, we think that there's this thing that's out of reach called confidence, right? That we can like go get. But I want to kind of change this up and do something completely different for you, which actually I think works better. Instead of trying to focus so much on building confidence, I want you to start focusing on what is the negative, critical conversation going on in my head that is eroding my confidence. There is this mechanism in each of us called our inner critic or our inner judge, which spills out this toxic, criticizing, judgmental language that basically tells you in one way or another that you're not enough, right? It's saying you're not enough. You didn't do enough this. You're not enough this. You blah, blah, blah. The conversation goes on. And for each of us, it's a little bit different. It's kind of like a record is playing, especially when we make a mistake. And that record comes on and it plays the same old tune every single time, right? And so what I want you to focus on is, what is the inner critic saying, right? What is it actually saying about you? How is it attacking you? How is it eroding your self-worth? And then I want you to call BS on it, right? The next part of this practice is we have to begin to start to use our inner wisdom, right? That deep, wise version of who you are to challenge the judgments and the criticisms of what the inner critic is saying. So this takes some practice, but if you really tune into that inner wisdom, right? And start to hear the truth about who you really are, the truth about the mistake that you just made, the truth about your intentions, rather than this fear-mongering, toxic inner critic just yelling in your ear constantly. When you align with that truth, with what you really know to be true, that sense of peace comes back. That sense of confidence comes back. That sense of worth, you reconnect with all of these things. It's not so much about building. It's much more about what are the things that are getting in the way, right, of my confidence. I'm just using confidence as an example. You can do this with anything. What is getting in the way of my self-worth fundamentally? What is the conversation? That's the first step. You got to know what it's saying before you can even do anything about it, right? So what's the conversation, right? Then you got to challenge it with your truth. And that's going to help you realign. It's going to help you feel so much better about yourself in so many different ways. And I know it's a simple practice, but it's going to take some time because that inner critic can be vicious. But if you start connecting with that inner wisdom, you start hearing that deeper, wiser version of you going, yeah, well, the inner critic is saying that you ain't worth a damn because you made a mistake at work. But my inner wisdom is saying it was just a mistake, right? It was a simple mistake. You can correct it by doing this, and let's learn and carry forward. Those two different voices couldn't be more opposite, right? But the thing that you got to get through at the beginning is the loudness of the inner critic. You got to know what it's saying. You got to quiet it down, and you got to respond with your wisdom. Thanks so much for watching. And if you're interested in learning more about my coaching programs, please visit www.coachingwithevan.com.